And we'll watch this once. And you can skip this unless you have a fusion accident. Like, there's this weird thing in Persona 1, and I think even in 2, where, like, Igor uses a phone. He, like, calls in the Persona thing. It's weird. Let's see, and we'll just go ahead and do this. And for Phaleg, we will just add... Oh, one thing, bullets. Bullets are really, like, not right now, because, like, they would only add, like, +5. But later in the game, like, the best bullets you can buy add, like, 30 to the magical attack and defense of the persona you're fusing. It's really good, especially if you got a persona with really good skills, but kind of, like, magic defense. So, let's see, we want to... Let's just throw a medicine on there and see if we can't get some kind of random effect. And I don't think it'll show you what's going on here. Yeah, but we want this Judgment Phaleg. And we'll skip it this time. And the two people in the background over there, they have names, but they don't introduce them in this version of the Persona 1, so we don't get to talk to them, but I think oh, you know what? I forgot to actually take on the Persona. That's dumb of me. Alright, so I want... Let's see. Do I want to do that? Because you've got Sukukaja, you learn Makakaja. And you don't really... You get Magra and Mazio, and I want you to learn those. So, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put it on Mark for now. But I think the idea is that the woman, like, the music in the Velvet Room is her singing, and word of God is that those two people, all the Velvet Room attendants that appear in Persona 1 and 2 are still in the Velvet Room. We just don't see them. Let's use Spin Kick, Rapid Fire, Sukukaja, and Medea. If you want to hog all the experience in a battle, healing is basically the way to go. Healing will hog the most experience, I find. Just doing massive damage to the enemy is like the second best way to get experience. Mass damage to all the enemies, excuse me. And the third best way is buffs. And then pretty much everything else you do in battle is crappy. I really, really like this dungeon theme. Okay. This is my, like, favorite dungeon theme in the game. Sorry, I'm not meaning to go through it so fast. I'm used to games where you hit the button, right, and it fills in the text, and then you hit the button again to go through it. And that's not necessarily the case. So you hit the button, and it just skips to the next line of text. And we're not going to let them join. she's not a bad choice. She gets rifles and swords. We came here to see Elly, man. That's why. Listen to this awesome dungeon music for just a few seconds. Alright. Now, let's go in this dock. Let's go in the... There you go. I do not like the world map in this game. This is the most... They use this style of world map in most of the SMT games. They use it in SMT 1, 2, 3, 4. They use it in I want to say they use it in Soul Hackers. They use it in this game, and they use it... Do they use it in Persona 2? I forget. I haven't played Persona 2 since it was new on the PSP, so it's been some number of years. But in none of the other PSP games, or excuse me, none of the other SMT games I've played that use this style of map, Raikuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army uses this style of map. Is it so hard to navigate? I don't know if the streets are just too narrow or what, but it's absolutely terrible. Let's see, rapid fire. Let's switch you back to Bufu. That way you're not... That way you're not killing all the guys and people have a chance to move. Alright, so now we'll use rapid fire. Rapid fire is really powerful because it is a move that does medium damage and it hits multiple times. So it can hit like, I think 2 to 4 times. And it absolutely destroys single enemies. And it's really good in some of these areas because I don't think they really balanced like the... Okay, there's two ways to look at it. They either didn't balance enemy resists and all that, or they balanced it super well. And it requires you to have a wide range of moves. But like in practice, you really don't need a wide range of moves. If you've got a good physical attack, if you've got a good gun attack, and if you've got a good if you've got a good element attack and a good what is that other element called? Force attack, then you're good. So in practice, you just need one of each of those. And you could destroy pretty much every random encounter in the game. So if you haven't met the requirements to recruit Reiji at this point, Ayase forces herself into your party. Because you have declined the other two characters. So if you go back to St. Hermelin, there's the school is gone and there's a cloud over it. In the PS1 version of the game, if you try to go into the front gate, what happens is you get a cutscene where you see this these ominous towers and stuff, and it's supposed to signify that the Snow Queen quest is going on right there. But no. Yes. Like I said, if you haven't met the requirements for Reiji, then she forces herself into your party. You get no choice on it. I guess it would be pretty audacious to, you know, whatever the hell's going on. But anyway, card reader, right here. One of the things that it really just makes me want the PS1 remakes of SMT 1, 2, and If more is I really appreciate the way the first-person dungeons look in this game. I feel like they're a little more visually interesting than, you know, any of the SMT games, the first two SMT games anyway. I wonder, like, I don't have a whole lot of reference for PlayStation 1 games before Final Fantasy 7. Actually, like, I can name 2 games that I know, like 2 RPGs that came out before Final Fantasy 7. Before the year Final Fantasy 7 came out, because like Wild Arms came out around the same time. But like, this and Beyond the Beyond, and I know Beyond the Beyond is supposed to be terrible, but I'm wondering, like, when this game came out, did somebody look at this game and like lose their mind at the graphics? Because I know that, like, when I saw Final Fantasy 7 the first time, I lost my shit, you guys. It was like, oh my god, it's so lifelike. And then it's weird going back and like you don't at the time realize how bad the graphics of what you're playing is. Like, I remember playing, you know, Final Fantasy 7 and thinking, like, this is the pinnacle of, like, nothing will ever be as these guys, I think, yeah, the Waltz of Sadness is hilarious, and like when some enemies do it, they pull out pom-poms. It's great. So that's the guilt status, and what that does is it makes it where you can't use certain abilities. Level, like, I don't know if you've noticed this yet, but status effects can actually have multiple levels. So level 1 guilt, what it does is it makes it to where you can't use your gun or your physical attack, but you can still use your skills. Later on, you would get extra levels. That's a save point, by the way. Extra levels of it would prevent you from using your persona skills as well. So we gotta throw this lever here. And we got to go this way. Now, I'm kind of torn. Do I want to switch Mark back to Ogun and use Ogun to possibly get Mazio, or do I want to just leave him where he is? So if you go down that way, there's a dead end, and there's another lever over here that will actually open up a path. That's what these do. There's, if you tried to go up past here, there would have been a dead end, and the lever basically fills in the floor. So not too bad. Shadow Needle. I'll never use that, but I can sell it. That's a weapon for Yukino. She uses throwing, and nobody shares. No, that's not true. Because the main character and Elly share one-handed swords as their weapon. Does anybody else share a physical weapon? I don't think so. Brown uses spears. Ayase uses whips. Yeah, no, that's just it. Mark uses axes. Throwing, and then two-handed swords and bows. Yeah, no. It's just the main character and Elly that share a weapon. And this is like a 3-part dungeon. So the first part is the factory. And then once we leave the factory, we go into this actual SEBEC building. And then once we're done with the SEBEC building, we go into an underground laboratory. So, but we are now in SEBEC, which we couldn't have got into through the front door because they have those guys guarding it. Alright, let's go. Corporate espionage is a go-go. So we are on the first floor, and if you go over here, there's 2 rooms on the top there. The one on the right is a save point. The one on the left is a healing point, if you need that, which I don't. There's also a store. And I think they do that is because it's kind of difficult to get out of here. But they sell basic items in here. And I'll show you the stuff they sell. Mr. Frog Suit Man. And I don't need these scalpels. See how much money I have. I don't need this rapier. I don't need this mop. I don't need this two-handed axe. You may notice that everybody came with all the same equipment they had on them before I unequipped them. So Mark came back with another axe. I need the boxing glove. Do I need this? I'll keep one QQ helmet. I don't need these school uniforms. I don't need these toe shoes. Alright. Let's go ahead and buy some stuff. Buy some chewing souls. Buy 30 of them. Chewing souls restore... in battle, they don't restore a whole lot, but out of battle, they restore like 25% of your SP. So, and they're really cheap, so it's great to have a bunch of them on hand. This guy doesn't sell any stat healing items, so